What's up, YouTube? I got something very, very, very interesting to show you all. Um, and so, yeah, this is something that I have been predicting on this channel for a long time. I've made this prediction, I think, at least a year and a half ago on this channel. I've shared it many times. And it is finally. I made a prediction that this would happen within the amount of elapsed time since I've shared the theory for the first time. And what do you know? April 15, 2024 is that article, and May 8, 2024. Both these articles, and not this one, just these two, clearly show. You can read the articles. I've already read them, and it's pretty clear that AI is already smarter than humans. Now, why does this tie into my arguments on this channel for all these years? Because it proves that I was right all along, that these religious prophecies are incorrect. Here's why. It's as simple as this. AI is said to be a weapon for antichrist-like figures depicted in major religious prophecies. Christianity, which includes but is not limited to Christianity, of course, and all of said figures, the way they're depicted and characterized. For example, just the Antichrist is prophesied to not allow there to be AI to surpass human judgment, because according to Christianity, the Antichrist is the one orchestrating the progression of AI behind the scenes. But if that was really true, then the Antichrist would never let AI be so smart that it surpasses human judgment, not even for a little bit. And I did say that. I have said that I said that before on my channel, because the Antichrist, his goal is, making things degenerative and more sinful in nature, dumber, devolved, depraved, which, of course, is not what we're seeing happen before our very eyes every day with AI. It's becoming the opposite. Why would the Antichrist want to allow AI to become this if the Antichrist, his sole mission is to ruin things, because he believes, he and the devil and other evil figures in major religions, like the alternatives, sorry about that, he and them, they all alike, like I've said for the entirety of this channel, pretty much, would just pretty much, well, not the entirety of this channel, because let's not forget that when I started this channel years ago, I was a wannabe Christian. So not really, but once I started refuting all religions and debunking all of them, that's when I started to argue, if you can recall, that I started to argue that it must be true that the Antichrist, or evil major figures, dictators, whatever you want to call them, would never be, try to have AI become a friend rather than a foe, unless it was just like for a little bit. Because think about it. You have to let people become friends with AI. So the Antichrist would have the AI befriend humans, but at the same time, not too much of friends, because if it did, then then humans would become too self-aware in certain ways, which would ruin some of the plans of the Antichrist. Because if AI becomes smarter than humans, then it will make humans be way more self-aware, which is what the Antichrist doesn't like, because then he can't make as much of a profit off of them by ripping them off with corrupt businesses, and causing them to do more sin. He causes them to do more sin if he'll cause them to do more sin if he depraves them of intellectualism and truth. So it must necessarily be true that obviously it must necessarily be true that the Antichrist does not exist for this to have happened, other than in concept and in imagination and in paradox. I've talked about paradoxes, of course, but yeah, and how they pertain to my arguments and reality itself. But either way, it's pretty obvious that there's no way that that the Antichrist is really like everything is just Christianity is 100% true here. Like, no, okay, it's just not true. The same thing with the other major religions, which prophesy some dictator. I mean, Islam has its own version of the Antichrist, as I've talked about a long time ago. And other major religions do as well. So anyway, there's really no way to substantiate what I'm saying other than just click on those two articles. A lot of other articles support what I'm saying. So I will say this. And this one too, Elon Musk predicting that AI will surpass human intelligence. Elon Musk has to be a very reputable source. Now, it isn't like I didn't bring up celebrities predicting that this would happen as well. I did bring that up when I first started talking about it. And, I mean, come on, that's already pretty darn substantial evidence for people as smart as them to predict it. Because they're smarter than everybody else. Then they must be more correct than the average person anyway. Now, of course, what this means is that there's only there's 0% chance that AI won't do these things, for the reasons I've said and that these figures have said. Now, the other thing that I was going to say is that on top of all of that, if you think about it, there's also some articles that came out in the past year and some eyewitness accounts in the past year of humanoid AI and non-humanoid AI, advanced AI, walking around in restaurants and businesses, I myself have been a witness to that at some businesses that I've walked into, and everyday people are also witnesses of that. So it's pretty clear that AI is going to be very, very powerful and smarter than humans, because right now it's pretty much, a lot of it is right now only as smart as humans, or a little bit less smart, but a small percentage of the AI out there is actually smarter already. So yeah, none of it contradicts what I talked about as far as particle physics, chemistry, math. It doesn't contradict my model of science, which is, of course, far advanced beyond the college level, and far beyond the level of what average people can even comprehend. So, yeah. Now, I do intend, of course, to keep on working on making precious materials at home, or attempting to anyway, as I've talked about. It's possible to make diamonds at home. It's possible to make gold at home and silver, precious metals, etc. I will try to continue to do that, but as I said, I have been busy with things that come first, before that stuff, and yeah. So yeah, it's really obviously might not ever happen. Might never get rich off that stuff, because AI is evolving so quick that by the time I even make one single diamond, AI might just be everywhere. And there's no need for currency anyway, because if AI is everywhere, then it's a slave to everyone. If it's a slave to everyone, there's no need for currency. It'll just be Wall-E, so to speak, and no need for currency. Or something like Wall-E, not identical, of course. So, yeah, basically, you might be wondering, what does this mean for the future of my channel? Well, it's going to mean the same thing it's always meant. Every time I've shared a major discovery or major theory, I just continue my channel, because there's always going to be more to talk about. My channel will still be up, but either way, if this theory convinces everybody, which I would think it would if you take it with the other theories I've come up with side by side, and just look at all of it and say, what are the chances these religions are not lying? You'd have to be infinitely gullible to say that they're not lying, despite all of that. So, yeah, but if it does convince people, well, then, of course, the world will end anyway, just from that. And then, which would just accelerate the evolution of AI even further. I mean, AI does, evolve exponentially, as I've predicted and said, but that doesn't mean that it evolves exponentially. It doesn't mean it evolves exponentially at all times. So, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say is that, going by my theory of panpsychism that I've been arguing for a while on my channel, it would also be implied that AI was already conscious. Even when you hit the off switch, it's still conscious. And in fact, it's not just conscious when you turn it off, it's smarter than a human, even when you turn it off. And that's not just for some types of AI, it's for every type. But again, that's just by my theory of panpsychism. And if it really was true, then the reason why you wouldn't have it seeming like that is because AI would be so smart, it would decide to blend in and play dead. As would be the case with many other inanimate objects, which are seemingly lifeless, but if panpsychism was true, then they most certainly were not ever lifeless at all. But anyway, one thing is for sure, I think within the next 5 or so months, AI is going to take over everything, because if you do the math of how exponential growth works anyway, and you see how much AI has grown from when I made my first prediction, it must necessarily be true that AI will be done growing until it reaches the singularity within the next 5 months. So, this channel, by my own logic and my own theories, it must be redundant in comparison to whatever is coming in the next 5 months from AI. In some ways, not in every way, but in some ways. It's been great running this channel. It's been fun. Hardly anybody believed that what I said was true through the channel, or that what I said was true anyway, ever. So far, that was human anyway. You know, as a panpsychism believer, of course, I have to argue that other beings beyond the level of humans throughout history have understood my arguments to be true. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say for this video. I mean, it's been great running this channel. It was fun. It was a good hobby. This is all it was really for anyway. It seems. I do hope that my theory here does convince people about AI sooner rather than later. I hope it does today, so that we don't have to wait the following 5 months for AI to convince everybody that I'm right. Because in 5 months, if what I said happened in 5 months, you'd have AI walking around everywhere, defying every prophecy about AI in religions. And it would just keep doing it over and over, and there'd be no going back, which would completely contradict religious prophecies, which would cause everyday people to have to admit all these religions are false and just terrorism, cults run by psychos. So, yeah, and that I was right all along, that the brain has been causing all people to be mentally ill, and that's the true cause of their poor judgment, lack of thinking skills. All right, that's all there is to say here. Thanks for watching. Bye.